everybody? Welcome back to 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that made it for another week. Thanks, everyone. I, today, am very tired. Last night I saw The Batman, which was amazing, by the way. But I saw it at 11 p.m. That's a 3-hour movie. And then I had to wake up to do this. So I am a mess. But not as much of a mess as the new Platinum Square Enix game, Babylon's Fall. Yep, that was a whole setup to get to that. If you've not heard of Babylon's Fall, that's okay, most people haven't. The advertising has been non-existent, which is never a good sign from a publisher. Almost like they know not to spend ad dollars on it. The game itself is a live service game that you also pay $60 for, only to discover that it's riddled with microtransactions and more nonsense. And the look and feel of the game, well, it looks bland and feels sad? Boring? What's the word I'm looking for? If you want to read some of the really lame sounding experiences plenty of reviewers have had, check out things like Destructoid or Rock Paper Shotgun. And even just looking at the footage of the game, it looks outdated, colorless, and somehow even from the trailer, I know it's just gonna be a grind. And grinds already suck unless you find a way to make them fun, and spending $60 only to be asked to spend more money in-game is not fun. And I'm not the only one who thinks that's not fun. Yesterday, the peak concurrent players on Steam was 650 people. That's right, 650 people total were playing at launch. For comparison, Square Enix's Avengers had 28,000 people, and Outriders had 125,000 people, and both of those games were considered failures. Jeff Gertzman at Giant Bomb said he couldn't think of any other full-price game that had made a worse impression. That is brutal. I guess all I'm trying to say here with this is that if the first foray into the new Platinum Squeenix Studio collab is any indication, two companies that make great games can still produce crap if they fall into the live service trap of putting the cart before the horse. All that monetization stuff before gameplay and a fun experience. Remember the news from the other day about Sid Meier? This is exactly what he was talking about. Game publishers need to stop this shit. I may be wrong, and this may be a Western-centric view, and I'm just missing the point, and overseas, this will be very popular. But I'm gonna wager I'm right. Speaking of stories we've featured on this show, y'all make me so proud. As we talked about last week, 11-Bit Studios was raising money for Ukraine by giving all the profits of their game This War of Mine to the Red Cross. Since then, other devs like Bungie, CD Projekt Red, Bloober Team, Supercell, Fat Shark, Pokemon Company, and more have decided to do the same, and I thought y'all would like to know an update on the 11-Bit stuff. Well, 11-Bit announced it has raised almost $700,000, and that just makes me so happy, because I know some of you went out and bought the game about civilians in the middle of a war zone, and you did so for a good cause. So I just wanted to give a big thank you from me to you. In other news, the BAFTAs are here, and your nominees for Best Game are Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Inscription, It Takes Two, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Returnal. Now, most shocking, of course, is the inclusion of Inscription, because it means Daniel Mullins is now officially too cool to make a future game with me, and that is very upsetting. I'm also excited to see Returnal on there, as well as Deathloop, both games that fall into the Jesse loves weird games category. And of course, the new Ratchet and Clank gets some love, as well as Forza. But man, It Takes Two has got to be the favorite, right? It's such a wildly fun and creative game. It is definitely the industry's darling right now. I don't know, what do you think? Who's gonna win? And finally, in the news, a fun little speculative story to wrap up the week. Sony Interactive Entertainment has been shipping thousands of boxes of dev kits to the US over the past few months. Other listings show Sony exporting shipments labeled Video Game Console Prototype late last year. This, of course, is lending many to speculate that maybe it's a PS5 Pro, or perhaps a PS5 Slim. Personally, I'd hazard a guess that maybe it's the PSVR 2. We did just get information last week about what the actual headset would look like, and of course they're going to need to send that to devs. It makes sense to me. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think they're sending out? What could this possibly be? Let me know. That's what the comments are for. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for another week of 5 Minute Gaming News. This has been a real pleasure. It means the world to me, all the support and the comments and the likes and the sharing that you're doing. That's awesome. Thank you. Also, to everyone over on patreon.com/Jesse Cox, thank you for making it so I don't gotta worry about this whole YouTube nonsense. my heroes. Speaking of heroes, Mount Lion, Eric Gorse, and of course, Mana Muffins. Thank you all so much for your support. That's it for another week. I'll see you on Monday for some more 5-minute gaming news.